One thing you may not know about me is that the gear, all this tech that's sitting surrounding me, is what freaks me out and breaks my confidence. And it's not that I think that the camera is going to attack me or that I'm worried that the microphone will make me sound awful or that I won't look or feel my best on camera. My underlying fear lies from the fact that I don't want to look dumb or that I haven't put in the time or the energy to learn how the tech works in order to do this thing. After all, I work in a space where we make and sell and market a live streaming and video production tool. So I should know how to use all of the gear and the tech that surrounds it. However, things happen even when you have the absolute best intentions and even when you feel confident and capable and able to take on those challenges. And it's only in the time and the space of failing and learning from those failures that you're going to be able to rise to the occasion and continue to feel confident and continue to be your best on camera, on the mic, in these kinds of environments. So I want to tell you about an experience that happened to me this week. The team is jokingly calling it my flow pa. As many of you know, I am the co-host of a video podcast called The Flow, where Doc and I share podcasting tips and techniques with all of you and teach you how to get better in this video podcasting space. We've been doing lots of changes across the board here at eCam, and we are constantly moving things around in our test studio. So we have a couple different recording spaces. We have a desk set up similar to what I'm sitting at here today in my home office. And then we have a sofa set up that we've recently added in. And it's a really fun space for us to test and play around. Well, this week on The Flow, we had a guest coming into the studio, which is something that we haven't, I don't think at any point, had before. And so it was outside of the realm of what I am normally used to, confident in, prepared for, have the knowledge to be able to set up and do. So I phoned in a friend. I had Jill come into the studio with me on Monday, and she and I moved everything all around and set everything up so that we would have this really great space to use for this week's episode of The Flow and beyond, right? A two-person, in-person podcasting setup space that we could record in. So we were all ready to go at the end of Monday. Jill worked really hard with Doc. The whole team pulled together. We talked things out. I was feeling super, super confident. I got into the studio on Tuesday morning by myself. And as is going to happen, things weren't working properly, right? So the camera that I had connected in was coming in through NDI and it was having some challenges. And then as I started moving and messing that around, I had to mess again with some of the lighting because it changed the lighting when I messed with the camera. And then I realized that we actually had not thought about or set up headphones for myself and for my guest, Dave Hamilton, who was joining me, because again, it wasn't a scenario that I had really thought or done before or really even thought about. I usually have my in-ear monitors in and it's fine for me to just plug it directly in, but I had never needed to have two sets of headphones where we needed to hear each other talking and we also needed to hear Doc, who was joining us through eCam for Zoom and producing the show. So I was by myself. I had given myself tons of time, 2 hours. I was going to set everything up, figure out how everything worked. So I still had time left. I got Jill on a video call. She and I were working through things, but the time was ticking away and the pressure was building. Eventually, I hung up with her. I had almost solved things, but it still wasn't quite working. And I was starting to have those moments of, oh my goodness, Dave is going to show up and he's going to think that I'm incapable. Here I am inviting him into this space. I don't want to waste his time. I don't want to make him feel as though I don't know what I am doing. But I want to tell you what happened. And what happened was I got right up into the wire. I was still working things up. Dave walks into the office and I had this moment of zen. And the moment of zen really, really came from putting in the reps and being in these kinds of situations before where things are not going perfect. And I realized in that moment, Dave has been podcasting for over 20 years. He is a professional who is coming into this space as a professional, but also as a colleague. And he knows how to help me in this situation. and I can get it up and running really quickly, it's not going to make me look dumb or any less capable to ask for his help and his advice in this situation. So I said to him, "Hey, Dave, this is a new setup. We're so excited to welcome you into this space. Everything is kind of going a little bit wrong as it pertains to audio, which is not something that I have as much of a background in, but you do. Will you help me in this moment?" Dave was able to troubleshoot, fix the entire situation. We got Doc on the Zoom call. He was able to give us some advice, and I was able to watch how professionals work through and troubleshoot a problem and get the opportunity really to troubleshoot a lot of it myself. Because I was alone, because no one could do it for me, because I had set myself a deadline and I had set up the situation that was new and outside my realm of expertise, my realm of experience, I was able to learn a ton of things. And now I will feel more confident going forward when I have more people into that space or invite people into that space. So, what I really, really want you to think about this week, and I really want to challenge you, is what is the absolute worst thing that's going to happen? The camera isn't going to bite you. The audio isn't going to make you sound horrible. And if you have one of those moments where everything goes wrong, you can work your way through it and you'll be ready to tackle it even better the next time. So I really want you to think through what's the worst thing that could happen and how can you put yourself in that situation this week so that you can learn from it and not feel so scared about it the next time. If you need any help, you know where to find us. And if you ever need an example of someone who fails all the time and works her way through it, here is your Flopah of the week.